From the high-definition educational broadcast center at Bergen Community College's main campus in Paramus, this is Studio Bergen. Hi everyone, I'm Larry Levanka, and welcome to Season 2 of Studio Bergen. Glad to be back and glad to have you back. We've lined up another exciting year of shows that will put our campus in your living room, so thanks for joining me. When we signed off last year, the college was in the midst of the search for its 7th president. After a nationwide search that culminated with a series of interviews with the college's Board of Trustees, open forums with members of the college community, and confirmation from the board in August, Dr. B.K. Walter was appointed Bergen's top administrator. Dr. Walter, a native of Texas, has extensive experience in higher education throughout the country, including the South and Midwest. She previously worked at schools such as Southern Methodist University, Kansas City, Kansas Community College, Valencia Community College, and Ivy Tech Community College, Central Indiana region. In her last role at Ivy Tech, she served as the chancellor of a school of more than 32,000 students. She has also served as a faculty member at various stops in her career, teaching general and organic chemistry. Dr. Walter earned a doctorate in chemistry from Rice University in Houston, a master's degree in divinity from St. Paul School of Theology, and a bachelor's degree in chemistry from the University of Houston. Welcome again to Bergen, Dr. Walter. In other news this month, as it does every October, the college has celebrated Latino heritage with a calendar of events, including speakers, presentations, and activities aimed to recognize the achievements of Latinos and discuss their roles in the current U.S. and global landscape. Students of Hispanic heritage make up more than 1/3 of the college, a percentage that has steadily increased over the past decade when less than 1/4 of students were Hispanic. As part of the Heritage Month, Bergen administrators, professors, and members of the community gathered for the October 16th Latinos in Suburbia panel discussion, which highlighted some of the issues and trends facing Latinos living in a suburban setting.
It's a different upbringing when you're growing up in a suburban area that doesn't have the distinguished neighborhoods as you do in urban areas, and because of that, you have that result.
The event took place as part of the Suburban Studies Group ongoing work at the college. Meanwhile, the accomplishments of Latinos at the college were celebrated at an October 12th banquet. Bergen faculty and staff members of Latino heritage were recognized at the yearly event. Rounding out the highlights from Latino Heritage Month was the October 22nd keynote address by actress April Lee Hernandez, who has starred in TV's Dexter and the 2007 box office and critical success Freedom Writers. Before speaking to a packed Anna Maria Ciccone Theater, she shared breakfast with some of the college's student leaders. Throughout the course of the academic year, the college will celebrate other awareness and heritage weeks and months recognizing Native Americans, African Americans, and persons with disabilities. Fitting as this month recognizes the service and sacrifice of the U.S. military on Veterans Day, the college reinforced its efforts to offer programs on campus geared toward the hundreds of servicemen and women currently enrolled at the college. Representatives from the Combat Paper Project, an art therapy program, conducted a 4-day workshop with Bergen vets to assist in their reacclimation to civilian life. The program centered on a process that ultimately creates sheets of paper out of former military uniforms, allows vets to share their experiences and thoughts through art and words, according to Dave Keefe, the director of Combat Paper New Jersey.
It's a chance for them to feel like they're part of something. It's a chance for them to feel like they're part of something safe, comfortable, in the environment of veterans, exclusively veterans. You know, we're strictly vet-to-vet, peer-to-peer counseling. It's a safe and comfortable community and space for veterans to gather and share stories.
The workshop culminated with the veterans' work being hung in the corridors of the college's West Hall. Art was a prominent theme last month, as the work of 15 faculty members was featured in the college's Gallery Bergen during a month-long display. The exhibition, kicked off by a September 25th reception, celebrated the gallery's 2012 13 debut show. Future exhibits will feature student, faculty, community, and regional contributors. For the Bergen prof featured in this month's Faculty Focus, his choice of fine art may be Van Gogh's Starry Night, but knowing him and what he has access to, I think he may prefer the real thing. Beginning a decade ago last month, Professor Roger Opstbaum has had the best view on campus through the dual-domed Emil Buehler Trust Observatory.
Our two main telescopes are found in the domes. They are each 16-inch LX200 reflecting telescopes. Reflecting means that the main optical device inside the telescope is a mirror and not a lens. And they are about the right size to maximize your ability to see without greatly magnifying light pollution in the process. Because light pollution works in such a way that if you use too much light gathering power in a telescope, it's like killing a fly with a steamroller. That's what happens. And so those are our main telescopes, and they were manufactured by Meade. We have a third such telescope downstairs, which was originally for and is still used for wheelchair accessibility.
Professor Opstbaum, who has taught at Bergen for 29 years, said the observatory is certainly a unique feature.
It is not the only place in Bergen County that has telescopes of this kind, but it's one of the few. In Hackensack, at the Meadowlands, they also have an observatory. But one of the reasons that we have it here is because we do have an astronomy class for our students. And it's a very vibrant one. We have 7 sections per semester, plus now we have a section off campus. And in order to service all of those students to do one of the labs, which is to do some observing, having the observatory here is a good feature, but also, of course, it's a good feature for the public at large. They become aware of the existence of this, and they come down and find it very interesting to look at the heavens themselves and to learn about them from us. And that's why we are open for free on Friday nights to the public at large. We want to educate the public in this. And to be quite frank with you, the other centers where they have such telescopes and astronomy clubs and associations around the state offer such a service for free, so do we.
In the classroom, the professor teaches climatology, astronomy, and physics. Given the subject matter, Opstbaum has a keen interest in the issues related to science facing our planet.
Students themselves are, very interested in global warming and learning about it. And so this gives a continuous supply of people interested in taking the course. Not that the course is restricted to talking about global warming, but that does have a large component to it. And it's very interesting to, in that course, observe students' reactions as they're going along and learning more and more about it. Some students get angry, some students are now aware of it. They don't necessarily want to get involved, but they are certainly more educated in this. And my view is the more people get educated, the better chance we have of surviving.
For the veteran educator and scientist, his interest in these issues, such as global warming, is nothing new. The protection of our planet has been a lifelong passion.
At a very early age, I came to have a great respect and love for our planet. And that has always been my driving force. And where it fits in, if you will, the vast design of things, and also with respect to where it is headed in terms of what humans are doing with it. That has been a more recent, of necessity kind of view that have had to take, considering the things that we have done. But I always have held the place where we live in a great deal of awe and respect, and that is my driving force.
According to Opstbaum, when students and the public grasp the real-life application of science, a light goes off.
Where science comes in a practical sense in our lives is a way that science can be viewed as helpful in people's everyday lives. And otherwise, it would be just a subject of curiosity. And in no way is this happening more than with the whole subject of global warming, except that a lot of people don't realize that yet.
And really, no matter what the stars say, Professor Opstbaum is committed to educating the world about them. A star of a different kind, one not found in Professor Opstbaum's sky, was the featured guest at Bergen Community College Women Institute 4th Annual Conference, October 19th. Best-selling author Mary Higgins Clark delivered the keynote address at the Institute's Unlocking the Mysteries Within event that featured workshops and a book signing by Higgins Clark, who is a Bergen County resident. Another visitor to campus last month was Kyle Maynard as part of Disability Awareness Week. Talking about his experience as a high school wrestler, his message of overcoming obstacles resonated with students, given his unique disability.
And they would make this blanket judgment to go and say it's completely impossible for a guy without limbs to ever win a match. Problem was, like, I believed it for a while. When we believe something, we make it true. Like I said, it's not just me that's heard that before, too. That your dream, what you wanted to go into do in your life was impossible. It's a lie. What's important is what you decide. Not anybody else around us. I mean, yeah, people influence our beliefs all the time, but you've got to go and decide that for yourself.
Maynard wrestled varsity in high school, winning 36 matches in his senior year. He also won the 2004 ESPY Award for Best Athlete with a Disability. Quite an inspiration to the Bergen community in attendance. Coming up after a short break, we'll examine the visit of another high-profile guest, former ambassador to the UN, Sichan Civ, and have the college's Dean of the School of Mathematics, Science, and Technology, Dr. P.J. Ricatto, in studio. We'll be right back.
Salam.
Shanti.
We all want the same thing.
Peace.
And Rotary clubs are making it happen through international scholarships to promote peace around the world. Rotary, humanity in motion.
Welcome back to Studio Bergen. I'm Larry Levanka. Sichan Civ, the former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, came to the U.S. with $2 in his pocket, a survivor of the Cambodian killing fields. A few years later, he found himself working in the White House for President George H.W. Bush. Civ discussed his incredible journey with students as part of a visit last month. Professor Tom LaPointe, the college's director of the Center for Peace, Justice, and Reconciliation, said students in the world at large can learn much from Ambassador Civ's past.
It's a narrative of hope and determination and intelligence and optimism, a narrative that is an inspiration to students and faculty alike at our campus.
The visit marked the ambassador's third to Bergen. In other news, October was the month of the fair at Bergen. The volunteer fair, brought dozens of nonprofit organizations to campus, encouraging the Bergen community to give back and make a difference. The week after, a bevy of four-year schools and universities visited campus, providing recruitment and admissions advice to Bergen students planning their next step after graduation. And finally, for those students opting to enter the workforce straight out of college, Bergen hosted a job fair with employers from both the public and private sector seeking to fill those positions. Meanwhile, Bergen went to the dogs at the end of last month with its annual Greyhound Adoption Day event. Professor Harold Kahn, a Greyhound owner himself, organizes the program, which always draws a crowd of dog-loving students, faculty, and staff.
We've been doing this for about 8 years now. This is our 8th year here. And we did it because I have a Greyhound of my own, and the public doesn't know about Greyhounds, about how wonderful they are as pets, because after they're finished racing, they destroy the dogs. And people that go to Greyhound races don't realize that. So in order to educate our students and the public and the people that work here about Greyhound adoption, we decided to do this.
Kahn added that although it is difficult to gauge how many attendees actually adopt a Greyhound, he has heard numerous stories of Greyhound adoptions taking place due to interest sparked by the event. In sports this month, we had the chance to sit down with the college's interim athletic director, Jorge Hernandez, to give us a preview of the Bulldogs' winter sports prospects, including the men's and women's basketball teams.
Tracy Green, our head coach, who's now into her 4th season, looks very, very good. She said that she has a very good class coming in. I say more about 15 players. In the past, we struggled with numbers, and this year she feels like she's going to have a bench to support her starters this year. As far as men's basketball is the same thing. He has a lot of players coming in. He struggled last year. We didn't make the playoffs. He's going into his second year. Coach Matt O'Dallin. He coached under Sean Kelly, who Sean Kelly, if you remember, had gone 2 years in a row to nationals and made 3rd place. So he has experience at nationals, and I think with the prospects coming in, he should do well. We're a lot bigger than last year, so we should be able to compete this year.
In fall sports, the women's soccer team advanced to the second round of the Region 19 tournament for the first time in Bergen history before bowing to number 1 seeded Ocean County College. The women's volleyball team also earned a spot in the Region 19 tournament, but lost in the first round. For full coverage of Bergen athletics, including scores, stats, and schedules, visit bergen.edu/athletics. Before we take a look at this month's campus calendar, believe it or not, registration is now open for winter and spring 2013 classes at the college. Winter classes offered at Bergen Community College at the Meadowlands are a perfect opportunity for students home from four-year schools to pick up a few credits before they head back. For more information, visit the college's homepage, bergen.edu. Now moving on to the calendar, the School of Continuing Education will host an information session on the new Pathways to Teaching in New Jersey program Wednesday, November 7th at 6 p.m. in the Moses Family Meeting and Training Center at Main Campus. On the same evening, the Anna Maria Ciccone Theater will play host to the Aquila Theater Company, which will perform Cyrano de Bergerac Wednesday, November 7th at 7:30 p.m. Visit tickets.bergen.edu for seats. Finally, the Bergen Community College Foundation will host the annual Medallion Awards dinner Friday, November 30th at 6:30 p.m. at the Rockley Country Club. The fundraiser is the college's biggest of the year. For tickets, visit bergen.edu/foundation. Welcome to this year's first installment of In Studio, our on-set segment featuring a member of the Bergen community. Today we have the college's Dean of the School of Mathematics, Science, and Technology, Dr. P.J. Ricatto, someone who is really at the epicenter of a lot of very exciting and innovative things taking place at the college. So P.J., welcome to the show.
Thank you, Larry.
Okay. So science, technology, engineering, math, these are all under your kind of purview here at the college. And it's turned into a buzzword nationwide. And we at the college, we're kind of trying to respond to that. We have a grant that's helping us out. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, Larry, the college was very lucky. In the fall of 2011, we received a 5-year, $3.7 million grant for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And the grant comes from the Department of Education. As a Hispanic serving institution, we qualified for it, but more importantly, all of our students are beneficiaries of the kinds of activities that we're going to have in the grant.
Let's talk about some of those activities that are kind of taking place now and some of the others that may take place in the future.
Well, basically the grant is designed to increase the recruitment, retention, and graduation of students who choose science, technology, and engineering as their major, as well as science education. And some of the things that we're doing to address that is that we have increased the amount of counselors who are dedicated to the students who are in science, technology, and mathematics. We've increased the amount of tutoring services that we have. So those are the kinds of things that directly address the student issues that occur inside of the classroom. The second facet of it is co-curricular, extracurricular, and that's some of the things that we're very interested in doing, and that is getting the students involved in the kinds of engineering projects that are going on campus.
Let's talk about that. What are some of that kind of fun stuff or really interesting, innovative stuff that we're doing?
One of the things that we wrote into the grant proposal that we're very excited about is a sort of culture change at the college. And the idea is to consider the campus as our laboratory. One of the best ways to get students interested in science and technology is to get them involved and work on real-world problems, real issues that occur. If an elevator doesn't work on campus for a month, why is that? Is there something that the students can do to work with the faculty and staff to get that system going. There is a lot of data-driven decision-making that occurs on campus. Why can't the students help participate in collecting that data? These are the students who are interested in mathematics, statistics, and actuarial science, and help the college make decisions based on the data that we collect. So that's how we can get some of the students who are interested in statistics and economics involved. We are running a business here, basically a small city. What is the best way to involve the students in those kinds of projects?
You know, I don't want to say nationwide that there was kind of a de-emphasis away from these fields, but science, math, and technology has always kind of had this, I don't want to say black cloud, but it's always been difficult for a lot of students, you know. How are we kind of breaking through that issue?
Mm-hmm. Well, the first thing that we really want to address with the students is it's really not okay to say, you know, I'm not, you know, just not good at math, and just let it go with that and kind of just put that off to the side. Because in any career, any 21st century career, you do need some level of technical competence, and it's very important at the community college to make sure that these students will succeed in the jobs of the future. And you can't just say I'm not good at math. Everyone has to have a certain skill set, and it's our job to provide that skill set. So we're not accepting from the students I'm not just good at math. You're saying, okay, you weren't good at math in the past. What can we do at the college to address those issues? Because math is the key, Larry. If the students can succeed at some of our first-level college math courses, that carries over into their business courses, it carries over into their science courses, and obviously it carries over into their upper-level math courses. So we have critical mathematics courses. Intermediate algebra is one of them, and pre-calculus. We think if we can really address the issues that the students are having in those classes, that'll open up the door to success in a lot of other courses.
I'm talking about kind of building a foundation, you know, and kind of creating that understanding that not every student is going to be a math professor someday, but yes, there is some basis for math that everyone needs, so that's kind of how we're focusing on it.
Exactly, exactly. We've dropped the class size in those critical early level courses. The grant has allowed us to cap the limit at 25 students in each one of those sections, so the professor has a chance to work more individually with the students who are having issues. We've done something called the SI model, in which we have an embedded tutor in the classroom who goes to every lecture, sees what that particular professor is focusing on, and then meets with the students after class in small groups to provide extra support. So it's not just going to the tutoring center where the tutor is trying to guess at the focus of the professor. That tutor has seen exactly what you've seen as a student. It works very, very well.
I was going to say, how are the students responding so far?
So far, we're off to a good start. We've increased the number of all of these kinds of extra support sessions, but the jury isn't out in terms of the actual results, because as of September 1st, this is really where the grant is starting to collect data year over year, how our students are doing in these courses versus how they've done in the past.
Something else that's kind of unique to your area and unique to the college that we kind of just acquired, and I know you've been working on it for a long time, is the aviation program. So talk a little bit about that, about what we have here at the college that's really different.
Okay. We are also very proud to be the recipients from the Buehler Foundation, or the Buehler Perpetual Trust, I believe is the name of the organization. We received a $2 million grant about 3 years ago. $1 million was to upgrade our science facilities, which we're in the process of doing, and the second $1 million was to start an aviation program on campus, and we have done that. As of the fall of this year, 2012, we have our aviation program running. There are 2 tracks currently. One track is for people who are interested in aircraft operations. That's students who are interested in becoming a pilot someday. Very exciting. And the second track is for people interested in the business side of aviation. That's an aviation administration program. It's a 2+2 program. The first 2 years are spent at Bergen, and we have a partnership with Vaughn College of Aviation in Flushing, New York, where the students can seamlessly transition into the second 2 years. We're working on other articulation agreements with some of the other aviation institutions in the country, such as Dowling College out in Long Island and Embry-Riddle in Florida.
The Dean of Innovation, maybe, as I'll kind of call you, it doesn't stop there, though. With aviation and all the STEM stuff, we've also got a lot of sustainability projects that we're working on. Why don't you talk about some of those? Okay, well, again, under this idea that the campus is our laboratory, we have students. We're probably up to 50 students who are interns working for the college, working on a variety of different projects. So starting with our cafeteria, our main cafeteria on campus is a totally composting facility. All of the paperware and knives and forks all go directly into our composting. So we have students to make sure that the general population of students knows where to put everything. So the amount of garbage that we take off campus that winds up in a landfill is minimized. So if you go to our cafeteria right now, there's at least 2 or 3 students who are working to teach our general students what to do. So that's one effort that we have, is cafeteria composting. We also, as part of that, compost much of this material right on site. So we have a group of students who run our rocket composter, which is a aerobic in-vessel device where you put food waste and wood chips in. 10 days later, you get beautiful compost that really we give away. We spread it out, right? Mulch. We spread it out on campus. We give it away. I take some home. We have it all over the county now. So it's amazing the quality of the soil that we can produce in this device. So those are 2 projects we have. We've also got wind turbine project and electric car project. I mean, really, just cutting edge stuff. Just kind of briefly as we wrap up here, why don't you go over those real quick? Yeah, one of our really special faculty members is a faculty member in physics, Dr. Joe Sivo, and he has taken on a project in which he has a group of students who are retrofitting an old abandoned structure that we have on campus. We call it the blockhouse because at one point it was a concession stand, but really hasn't been used for anything. And what these students are doing is they're turning this abandoned structure into a workshop where they can work on all different projects on campus. The structure itself is going to be an off-the-grid facility, so it's the HVAC that the students are going to need to work in there in the wintertime is going to be provided from the solar panels, the geothermal, and wind turbine that they are designing themselves. So that's the first thing. It's going to have a big open area with plenty of tools for the students to work on, because remember, to be a great engineer, you need the hands-on side of it. You need to be a mechanic. You need to be mechanically inclined, which is something that people have forgotten. So our first project, once the building is completed, is we are going to build an electric car on campus. It's called a velomobile. It looks very much like what you think of a 1950s race car with a single sort of bullet shape, very lightweight. And what do you do when you're finished doing something like that? You drive it around campus. So we're very excited about that, and we think that those kinds of projects will lead to a lot more student-led innovation as we go forward. That's the key to this, is the students are our engineers, and we want to take advantage of their fantastic ideas. It's just so refreshing to hear all this great stuff that that your group has championed, and really the college is kind of championing innovation and progress and getting the students involved with it. So it's really it's great, and I commend you for all your work. So thank you. Thanks for being on the show, PJ. That's all the time we have for this month. So don't forget to visit the college's official Facebook page to tell us what you think about this program. I'm Larry Levanka. Thanks for watching, and take care.